Hey y'all, welcome to Redwood RV Ventures. Another day here in our kitchen in the RV. We're traveling, loving what we're doing. Stick around and join us for some chai tea powder, Crunchwrap Supremes, coffee, and chai tea. Enjoy and let me know what you think.
Alright, y'all, here we have it. We're gonna make some chai tea powder mix. I've got 1 cup of dry milk, 1 cup of coffee creamer with no dairy, 1 cup of French vanilla coffee creamer, 2 teaspoons of ground ginger, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, a teaspoon of clove, and a teaspoon of cardamom. We got them all measured out right here. And then I need to add sugar. We're gonna put all this in a bowl, blend it together, and try it. Y'all, we've got our mix of spices, milks, and creamers and whatnot mixed up in here. You can see the difference in color there. We're going to put it in the blender, and then we're going to blend it up and give her a taste test. I love chai tea, and now my husband likes it in his coffee. It's quite expensive. It's not cheap. I'm trying to make it when I've had a hard time finding instant black tea. So I'm just gonna, for now at least, try to brew some tea and throw this in there. Pop the lid on here and zap it in the blender. Oh, I forgot to add the sugar. I'm not sure if we're gonna need that much sugar, but there's half. These are all shy. 1.5. Oh my goodness. 1 3/4. The lid on. 1 3/4. Let's try this. I've got just under a 1/4 cup of water. We're going to get a teaspoon here. Try to give her a little stir. Try to get a teaspoon out. I don't know, this looks very white. But if there's tea, it'd probably be more brown, huh? Let's put a teaspoon in there. Mix her up. I'm not getting any spices. I'm getting a lot of milk. I think I need more spices in here. Let's take her off. We might try to add some more spices. So the verdict is we're going to add a little more spice. I think I'm going to double. I'm going off of a recipe, but we'll see what happens. Right now I got a single batch of all the milks and creamers and whatever. 1 3/4 cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons of ginger, cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of cardamom, and clove. I'm going to double that. So I'm going to put, should I double it? 2 more cinnamon. We're doubling it. 2 more cinnamon. 1, 2 of ginger. This cardamom's very lemony. 1 cardamom. Smells like eucalyptus. And 1 more clove. Clove is really strong too. Pretty much 1. Perfect. It's gonna get darker for sure, because look at that already. Look at that. It's got suction cups for a reason. Okay, now we're getting a lot more spices here. There's this little patch here. I'm gonna just try to loosen that. Mix her in. Okay, I've got some hot water, about 1/8 or so this time. Let's add it's quite a bit. A tiny spoon. This spoon's not big at all. We're gonna add a little bit. Wow. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let me go get my husband's taste test. We're not getting too much creaminess, and the ginger is potent. So I'm gonna add a little more cinnamon, a little more of this regular coffee creamer, and a little more dry milk. Half a cup of creamer, half a cup of milk, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. Come on, you can't go wrong with cinnamon. It's delicious. Delicious. 5 teaspoons of cinnamon, 4 teaspoons of ginger, 2 teaspoons of cardamom, and 2 teaspoons of cloves. Getting heavy. I got a hair of water. We're going to add maybe half a teaspoon or so. See, that extra cup of powder now I feel like has muted all the spice again. My husband thinks that the other flavors are there, but we're going to try 1 more cinnamon. I think I'm getting the tang of the ginger and the cardamom, but It's hard to tell now. Alright, I added another teaspoon of cinnamon. I could have added a little more powder. What do you think? Good? Now I'm gonna make me up some tea and give it a try.
Look at that mess. Hey y'all, we're making some Crunchwrap Supremes for my husband and I for dinner. I'm just frying up the tostada shells right now. Yes, I know my oil is really gross right now. I haven't gotten a new jug just yet. I was making some desserts and I believe the flour made my oil just disgusting. I also heard that already used oil fries better. Do I know that for sure? No, I do not. Excuses aside, I shouldn't let my oil get this gross. I'm just setting them over here on a paper towel lined cast iron lid. I like to put my paper towel that's going to catch all that grease onto something that will benefit from the grease coming through. I like to get them pretty crispy, not super crispy so they just fall apart and are a complete crunchy, crispy, flaky disaster, but not raw and super chewy. Crunchwrap Supremes are really delicious, versatile, and quite easy to make at home, really. They're way better than Taco Bell. Man, are they delicious. What I like to do is find a really big flour tortilla, burrito size. I give it a little spray with a water bottle mister on both sides. I throw it in the microwave for 10 to 30 seconds to get it really pliable and warm. Then you add all your components in. Right now I'm just going to slide my Dutch oven back with my frying oil, and I'm going to get my skillet on the heat to toast up the Crunchwraps. In these, we are putting ground beef. I keep taco ground beef in the freezer. Whenever I need it, I just warm it through and boom, it's ready to go. I also have nacho cheese there on the side that I put in a quart-size bag, put it in the freezer, let it freeze, slip it out of the bag once it's done, cut it into cubes, throw it right back in that bag, and then you pull out a couple cubes, depending on how many people or what you're needing it for, and you've got it right there, good to go. I had a big can of it from Costco from a minute back. I'm trying to find a tostada that is going to be crunchy to my liking. My husband prefers a little bit not crunchy. I put a little bit of refried beans on the bottom of this tortilla here. Try to get it centered. Mine is a little off center as you can see, but hey, it worked out good. I put some ground beef on top of those beans, sprinkle some cheese. I slather some sour cream on the bottom part of the tostada shell. Put it on top of the beans, meat, and cheese. Then while it's sitting on there, I slather some nacho cheese on the top part of the tostada. I prefer the sour cream to be on the bottom part so it doesn't get disgusting and weird when you toast it on the cast iron. I'm going to put some lettuce and tomato if desired on top of that nacho cheese. Then you're going to wrap it and fry it on the skillet. My tortillas are so big. I scored and found massive tortillas, so it just covers it completely. Otherwise, you get a small tortilla or just rip off a section and slap it in the middle before you fold it so it's completely encased. You're going to fold the sides over, sort of a hexagon-ish shape. I still don't really know what to do with the last bit. I believe you need to pull the whole side right there out and then fold it, but hey, this works just fine. I'm gonna fry mine up real quick before I wrap my husband's. I like Crunchwraps because burritos aren't necessarily my favorite because I prefer a little crisp and a little crunch. So if I were to make a burrito, I wouldn't completely want mine steamed. Some people steam it up, and it's great that way. It's easy to put together and everything, but I prefer a little crunch on there, so I throw it back on and give her a little crisp. With this crunch wrap, you get really best of both worlds, and it's not as soft. Just repeat it. Put the refried beans, the ground beef, the shredded cheese. Put a ton of sour cream on my husband's tostada. He might tell me, "Did you even put sour cream?" That's why I like to pile it high, folks. No messing around with this man's sour cream. I like to make mine first, so my husband's is nice, fresh, and hot for him to enjoy. I prefer a little more beans, less sour cream, and a little tiny bit more nacho cheese on my Crunchwrap over my husband's. We're just going to finish this off with a little bit of lettuce and then wrap it up. I already have the heat on my cast iron skillet. You want to have the heat medium high. I'll probably do a little under half. You want a hot heat seam side down so that your lettuce and sour cream, which is why I like it more central, doesn't get gross, soggy, goopy. This last part on the wrap is always a little interesting. Might as well just slap it right over. And there we have it. I'm just turning my heat up a hair on my cast iron. We want to put this in the skillet seam side down. I like to give her a little twist. Mostly everything I put in, give her a little spin. So the heat is toasted evenly. Now I got a light golden brown on this side. You're going to want to check it, twist it, rotate it, turn it often. I like good color on mine. This one here is my husband's. On the seam side is where I usually put the veg and the sour cream, hopefully central. But you want to be careful that you don't keep the seam side too hot or too long. These look delicious. I'm going to get a slice on my Crunchwrap. These have great color, great texture. They're holding together. Look at that interior. Crunchwrap Supreme is always a great meal. Go to. Now, Taco Bell is delicious, but this is even better. We made some chai tea powder to mix into black tea. This morning I'm gonna make my husband and I a coffee and a chai tea. I had some water boiling here. I've got my husband's mug filled up. I'm gonna put the coffee in his mug. I'm gonna put a couple black tea bags in my mug of hot water. We're just gonna let those rock and roll for 5 to 10 minutes until they are nice and dark. I love chai tea. It is very comforting to me and it tastes incredibly delicious. I'm gonna let you know right now that the chai tea powder that we put together needs more cinnamon and it needs to be ground up better. I put about a quarter cup of coffee grounds into my husband's coffee. I put about a quarter cup of chai tea into his coffee as well as my tea. I put 2 black tea bags in my mug. Here we're going to just press that thing right on down. For some reason it's very firm this time around. I put 1 scoop, which is approximately a quarter cup. That is what works best for us, and I am very thankful to have an abundance of those little scoops. I'm just gonna give his coffee a little mix, wipe down that powder from the sides, and then I go in and give my tea a quick stir. I leave room at the top so I can add cold milk to both of our drinks. Then I will just cap his mug, tighten her down, make sure she's nice and tight, and I will give it a gentle shake, untwist the very top, and he's ready to drink. He usually needs to let it cool down because it's so hot. So he actually enjoys a little bit more milk. I ended up putting 2 scoops of chai tea powder into his coffee this morning. He found that the ginger was a bit strong, and I found that it was a little too coarse, but improvements will be ahead. Thank you guys for sticking around and joining me in my kitchen today. I hope you subscribe, like, and comment if you want more. Let me know what you think, and thank you for joining us here at Redwood RV Ventures. Come back again. Have a great day.